Oh my goodness, it just keeps getting worse, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We got a lot to get into in this video. We're starting to see more and more come out. Obviously, yesterday I was talking about what I had already found up to that point. We got Jay-Z leaving the country, all that kind of stuff. I talked about all that. But now we got some new stuff. All right, we got those being vindicated that were talking about this for years, right? Well, I was one of them. I mean, there's a lot of us that were on here back 10, 15 years ago. Some of them are no longer around. Actually, a lot of them are no longer around for some strange reason. But you had Mel Gibson, you had Jim Caviezel, and by the way, they're making a new movie right now in Italy, the sequel to The Passion. Now, Jim was very much 100% zeroed in, dialed in on this whole thing. Back 2 years ago, I did a video talking about it. And he was dialed in. He was saying the stuff that no one wanted to say. All right? And now it's become apparent he was correct. Jim was correct. You'll have to kill me before I stop exposing what you're doing. The Ring, according to Caviezel, since he publicly claimed that the CIA of Corsair operates the world's biggest one, he's been the target of multiple attempts. Yes, indeed. I mean, he's the one of the first, I would say he is the first, I guess, I'm pretty sure I'm right, who straight up just said it. He just said it. Of all the Hollywood people, straight up said it. And now we're starting to see that what he said was 100% real and true. Okay, I think I have a clip here. Yeah, let me play this. I didn't play it on the other channel. Let me play this. This is Steve, and this is so weird because Steve Bannon's name is listed all throughout these files. I don't even know what to think about this guy, Steve. All right?
77,000. Now that gets sent into these biolabs.
Barrel oil,
$77. $77,000 for Ukrainians have Russian bloodline and everything. And then I started looking up that.
Goodness.
And then I started looking up this Azov Battalion stuff, the Nazis. And then we just find out.
What the hell is going on here, man? You know what? It's so bizarre about all this. I was kind of thinking in my head one thing, that this group, the Yahtzees, we'll call them, I noticed that they seem to be on the same side as those who claim to be against them at the top. Even in these emails, Jeffrey is bragging about this and talking about this with literally the emails from Jeffrey to a Roth, of course, child. And she's the one saying, yeah, we did help out the Yahtzees. I'm like, what? So apparently these guys are all, kind of buddy in the background. Ha ha ha, we got them all thinking these guys are the bad guys when we're them too. Ha ha. This is what I'm saying. Like, these are the people running the world. The ones that ban these words are the ones that are actually part of it. They tell you not to be one of these things, and they are them themselves. Then they tell you that they are not them and that they're against it. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. But that is the world we're living in. This upside down Twilight Zone world. And this is one of the files itself as well. Let's see if we can read on screen. All you need is a transfusion. Blood, of course. And you'll reverse aging. This is from Barry to Jeff. And this is what we're talking about. Where were they getting this from? He's saying even the Russians got this stuff over in Ukraine. It's like, what? I remember hearing about this way back when. I didn't know what to think about it. I still don't even know what to think about it, but it's starting to sound like this could actually have some truth to it. Because we're seeing things in these emails that sort of say the same thing. So they're saying the same thing in these emails that we were talking about, speculating about before. Like, is this stuff real? What the hell's going on here? Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is, actually. And, of course, we had Sean Ryan just come out being threatened with a lawsuit over a summer camp that he had exposed, a Christian summer camp, supposed Christian. I've noticed that as well when we were going into the whole USAID thing. Some of these groups that were getting NGO money would have Christian names, but then they wouldn't really do any Christian anything. So are some of these people that at the top, they'll make a group pretending to be Christian. We had Hillary, come out and say, oh, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian too. Do you believe it? I don't believe it. So all these people, they're literally talking with the devil. Then they say, oh, I'm a Christian. See, look at me. Oh, I got this charity here. And it's not even a charity. It's some other evil thing. The money's being used for something ultimately different. Here you have Sean Ryan talking about how he's getting sued by a camp, Kennecott. Now, this is alleged. I don't know if it's true, but what he's saying is pretty crazy.
I need to talk to you about something serious. Last week, I received a demand letter from lawyers representing Kennecott Ministries, a Christian summer camp in Missouri. They're threatening to sue me for defamation because of something I said on my podcast with Congressman Ro Khanna. Here's what I said. I brought Elizabeth Phillips on my show, and she talked about how Kennecott employees have been molesting thousands of kids.
Oh my goodness, dude. So thousands. This is what they're claiming. And this is what the lady on his show said. They're now suing him for defamation over this. But, the whole thing is that we've seen these type of stories come up. And this whole world we live in is like a world of illusions where someone will pretend to be a righteous, good person. And then you find out the truth about them. And it reminds me of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Seemed like he's a politician. Seems like a normal guy, wants to help out everybody. Then you find out he's literally some super evil guy that's in control of some sort of totalitarian thing, agenda. You know what I mean? Like with all these powers, dark force powers, right? It's kind of like George Bush Sr. in these files. You read these emails and so it's not just one side. This isn't just the Democrats or just the Republicans. It seems to be both sides are all in on this, whatever this is. And, Jim was saying there's multiple islands, not just one. Again, he was the one who made this movie Sound of Freedom. I covered it back a year and a half ago, whatever it was. He also had this interesting show called Person of Interest. I remember watching that awesome TV series. He was the one that played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ. Now I think he's going to be in the sequel, which is being filmed right now in Italy by Mel Gibson. He worked with Michael Emerson, and that was in Person of Interest. So he was talking about this in Sound of Freedom, and then he started really investigating it in other respects in the real world, outside of just this sort of microcosm of what he was, what they were doing in the movie Sound of Freedom, which was actually based on a true story as well. They find out, no, this is actually far more than they realize. It's not just this one little island. There's also other ones like Jeffries, right? But again, I want to be fair on this whole thing because it's not just Billy Boy Clinton. It's Bush. It's not just Robert De Niro. It's also perhaps even Trump. I don't think he went to the island, but his name is in there. There is some weird stuff. I don't think he partook in all that crazy stuff, but there is something there. Is it some family members? Is it some business associates he's protecting? I don't know what it is. Elon said he never went to the island, although he was saying he wanted to go to the wildest party there. This is what Caviezel is showing. Maybe he wanted to go, then he found out what it was. This is what I'm saying. This is why it's a massive ball of tangled yarn. You're like, what's true? What's up? What's down? This is like, you can tell the devil is like the mastermind behind this. The devil. Because this is something he would do. If he was going to do anything, it would be this. Right?
Party on your island. Nevertheless, I think it's an interesting point. The playbook, as we get into this much darker side of the 3.5 million files, you're going to notice this trend is true, that everyone we're going to talk about, basically they admit nothing, they deny everything, And then they usually make counter accusations against other people in the files. Almost no one has faced any kind of consequences for this whole thing, leading me to wonder, why is it that it seems like really only in the rest of the world has anyone faced anything? I mean, you've got the former Prince Andrew losing his title.
We've had squirrels arrested, but no one from these files. Literally.
The Slovakia National Security Advisor resigning over the Epstein links. But in America, I'm really hard-pressed to think of anyone who has actually faced any kind of accountability.
Jeffrey, that's it. Literally the only person.
I think Larry Summers stepped back voluntarily. But other than that, it's hard to think of anyone who's faced any...
Yeah, there was someone else that stepped down too. There's a couple executives, I think, that stepped down.
Kind of justice. In fact, arguably, Ghislaine Maxwell's life is better than it was previously.
Oh my God, even our president was going to give her an easier time, which shows that clearly he has friends that got caught up in this or something. But that's, you know what? You don't protect a horde of evil people because one of your friends got caught up in it, dude. You need to cut that friend off, or if that friend didn't do really anything wrong, let him face whatever the penalty is for that. That's what needs to happen here.
Since these Epstein files have dropped, and what's crazy about this is that we know that the government story is false. Remember, the FBI documents showed they had 10 co-conspirators they were investigating. We also
and then they said there was nobody, which is insane.
An old draft of an indictment where they had several co-defendants with Epstein.
Oh my goodness, dude. Yeah. So, I mean, it's super obvious. And like, you have to be dumber than a box of rocks not to see this stuff. It's in front of our faces. We can see it. And with this whole thing with Sean Ryan, with this camp, he also had Jim Caviezel on. So he's in the same realm. He's trying to do the same thing. He had him on a year ago.
Having dinner right now with Jim. I know you guys have been waiting a long time for this one. It's coming out right now. Please comment, save the children below.
Exactly, man. I mean, this is what it's all about. We've been trying to do that for my channel as well. It's been a rocky road for a decade here on YouTube. Actually, more than a decade at this point. And I'm still here. I saw so many people around me talking about this stuff. Oh, they're gone. Oh, whoops, they got deleted. Oh, it's kind of weird. I'm still here. It's strange, right? So I'm just thankful to God that I'm still here and still able to talk about this. You had this lady here talking about that. You remember this? This was a Mexican model. This was like a year ago, I think. And she came out in the middle of nowhere and just said they ate, of course, humans. Check this out.
So I don't know if you remember seeing this video of this.
Yes.
Was a Mexican model who was screaming outside of a hotel, and maybe
about Carlos Slim.
Maybe you could turn this down, Misha, and she's so you can turn up a little. She's saying they're eating humans. Disgusting. They ate humans. I wasn't aware of anything. I mean, about the murders, yes, but they had eaten humans. Humans.
Man, that's crazy, man. So you have that video. I remember when that came out, I was like, what in the world, man? You got here also what's going on in all of our cities with these anti-ICE riots, which, again, I feel like all of this stuff is not, natural. None of this, it's just so weird and artificial. Everything around us is so artificial. It would be nice if this whole monstrosity corruption just was somehow jettisoned into space. And then we could start over with something good and normal. I mean, I don't care if they're on the left or right, as long as we're starting off not doing crazy stuff and talking normal and trying to get along. You know what I mean? Not with this weird apparatus above us with all this strange stuff going on in the background, right? Where Jay-Z's leaving the country because he gets caught up in this. You had Tom Hanks, you had Ellen DeGeneres. You got Beyonce apparently just skipping around blue states so she doesn't get in trouble. Hillary's a Christian though, right? What the? Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, like, anybody's going to believe this stuff. Even Jeb was apparently in these files. All these people, all of them at the top, a separate class, working with the guy with the horns and the tail. red-colored guy. Yeah, pretty much. That seems to be what it is. And, you know, over the years, we've talked about all this stuff, and, you know, they'd always told us that we were crazy, right? Now we're totally shown to be correct, my friends. Shown to be correct, finally. I showed this thing with Bush. Absolutely disgusting. Looks like something satanic. This stuff is really, you know, I don't even like looking into this stuff. I don't want to do this. I wish these people didn't do any of this crazy stuff. They didn't exist. But this is what's happened. Even RFK's wife died, his former wife. And even Jeffrey talks about this and goes, whoops, like maybe he knew something about it. Maybe he was involved. Kind of strange, right? Seemed like a lot of these Kennedys had issues. Lots of people dying all over the place. And as Blair White says here, we are correct. Your conspiracy friend was correct the entire time. At any rate, you get kind of the idea, my friends. It's so disgusting, all the stuff. You had Andrew Tate defending this garbage, saying he had lived his life, financial excess, luxury, got away with all this stuff. You did nothing. What kind of logic and mindset is this? It's absolutely disgusting. The kind of way this guy is thinking about this entire topic. All right, last thing I wanted to show you guys is this awesome clip from the Music Awards. Check out what Jelly Roll had to say.
So just let me try to get this out. First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you and Jesus. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic, John Manili, we did it, baby. There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life. And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
Amen, man. So, of course, he lost a ton of weight recently as well. It's just kind of amazing, his sort of trajectory, the music he was writing, talking about the pain from his past, the demons he had fought, and now he is praising Jesus. At any rate, that's my video. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.